Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPod Season 10, Episode 23, the Midwest's most dangerous podcast. We're here in Smith Sursick Studio, welcoming you back.
What?
Did you come up with that on your own?
Why you guys calling me out?
I thought this was the Batcave.
Did Steve write a check that I don't know about?
Smith Sursick Studio.
That's why they call you an innovator.
That's right. But, like, honestly, guys, just play along with me. I mean,
Wait, but
Kevin, Smith Sursick owes us $10,000 because of back rent that they've never paid.
so they're the exclusive
Studio sponsor.
They owe you back rent?
Well, we're gonna
No,
get.
they owe LOCPod a check for like $10,000, or we could just call it even.
Okay.
That's the way I see it. Like,
Steve,
we give them a bill for $10,000. They go, well, we don't charge you rent. Then we're like, okay, why don't we just call it even?
You pulled an Uno card? Like
you're like, we'll just call the studio after you.
Yeah,
I like
Smith
that.
Sursick Studio. That's a
Naming
good
rights.
idea, isn't
Yeah,
it? I
great
thought it was
idea.
smart.
Yeah.
By the way,
Wow.
I heard other radio stations are doing it, and I'm like, why don't we do that? We can
Man,
call it the Batcave.
I feel honored.
The Batcave doesn't give us financially anything.
Exactly.
So now the point here is that if you would like to be the studio named after you and usurp Smith Sursick Studios, have at it. Call Steve Kellogg.
Yeah.
Steve at
No.
LOCPod.com.
Oh, we'll sell the naming rights.
bidding war.
quickly.
Oh, yeah. Bidding war.
For
Yes.
sure. Yeah, for
All
live,
right.
live from Smith Sursick Studio. I like it, though. It's got a nice ring.
Thank you.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Smith Sursick
Episode 23, the Jordan episode.
Hey, welcome
the
back.
Sandberg episode.
Mhm.
Welcome back to America.
Bom dia.
Do you speak
Oh, is that what they
American?
say? Bon dia. Is that the Portuguese
Bom
way to say
dia.
it? Bon
Good
dia.
morning.
Wow. Look
Muy
at
bien.
you.
I don't think that's Portuguese.
Was it amazing?
It
Huh?
was nice. It was.
Where'd you go again?
Portugal, all over the country.
Yeah.
Wow. Lisbon.
You're like the all
Mhm.
over the country person when you go there. I noticed that because you did the same thing when you went to Ireland, right?
Knock it out. 'Cause you never know if you're going to be back.
There, good point.
Right. And plus, like, you know, I did 4 days in Dublin. Just gets, after a couple days, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Name
right.
an, so I'm just racking my brain here. I can only think of Lisbon as one city in Portugal.
Oh, yeah,
Porto,
that could-
is that a name?
Porto,
All right, there we
yeah.
go. Anything
That's
else?
a
That's
big
just a soccer
shipping-
team.
I saw the soccer stadium.
Woo!
It's massive.
Portugal,
Massive.
Where the hell is Portugal?
right at the
By
edge of
Spain.
Right
Spain.
by Spain.
Same peninsula.
I did not.
I'm
think it
American.
was
Yeah.
there. And I'm pretty good at geography. Wow, how long were you gone?
Don't say you're pretty good
2
at
weeks.
geography and miss Portugal.
2
I know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at geography. Like, where's Portugal?
What's pretty good mean?
I
Where's
bet
Spain?
I bet I could find more countries than
The average
I
bear.
was gonna say Kevin, but I don't think
I don't
so.
think
But
so.
Tom,
Hell
I think
no.
I could. You don't think so?
Well, screw you, man. I don't want to play, though. I have
We
more
need
to
a
lose. Way more
Geography
to lose.
B.
Yeah,
Oh,
geography.
there's
B.
a real good Worldle. Have you
Oh.
ever played Worldle?
Uh-oh.
That's good.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, it's right above Africa.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Right
God.
by Morocco.
It's the Iberian Peninsula, John.
Oh, my God.
You were just a hop, skip, and a jump from Morocco and Tunisia.
Oh,
I almost did the Moroccan tour.
that would have
Really?
been cool.
Oh, that'd been awesome.
That would have been cool.
I couldn't convince.
I didn't
my mother
realize
to
when
do
I was
that
in
one.
Portugal how close to Africa I was. No
Mhm.
kidding. I went to Lisbon in my submarine, Joe.
Really
Yeah.
Pulled
well,
in.
fun.
I went
Did
to
you
a
hit
bar.
all the historical sites?
I went to a bar. In a really crappy neighborhood. It was actually shady as hell neighborhood.
Really?
Like, I remember there wasn't too many times that was like, holy crap. But that was one
Lisbon.
of them.
I
was like,
didn't love
whoa.
Lisbon. That was my least favorite.
I didn't either, Joe.
There's graffiti everywhere.
Really?
And I was in a crappy neighborhood.
Everywhere.
The bar I
Everywhere.
was in was horrible.
So let me ask you a question. When the Navy pulls into port
Uh-huh.
and you guys get to go on shore to a bar, do you have to wear your uniforms?
No.
No.
They
Oh,
probably
really?
prefer you don't, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was
You don't
curious
wanna get-
about.
You'll be a target, totally.
Yeah.
In some countries, yeah. But yeah, no, we never wore a uniform.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, we wore when they made you wear your uniform when you first get in the Navy, like in America. You look like a tool.
Let's
went to
talk about
spring
that.
break- I went to spring break with my uniform on.
Aw. Did you
Believe it
think
or
about-
not,
Hello,
women were
Daytona.
not. They were not flocking to me. It's like a woman repellent.
Is that the one with like the
I would-
tie? What do they call the?
No, I had the whites. You look
Yeah.
like a tool.
Come
Walking down
on.
the street like, and got your little Navy hat
Sailor
on.
hat.
Hey, girls, want to get, like, no.
Hey, girls want to get
You
what?
look like
Want to get drunk?
what's Jerry from Tom and Jerry with his little.
Dude, I look goofy as hell. I was like, I was 19. I looked like I was 12. And
Aw.
like, yeah.
That's the uniform, right?
Women were not flocking to me. Let's
You
just
sure
put
it was
that
the
way.
uniform that was doing that?
It certainly wasn't my great personality.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So did you flew over there? Was it buses, cruise, what?
It was buses, so we went 2 days early. Just the stress of missing a flight or a
yeah.
connection.
Yes.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
Good idea.
And then it was one of the big 50 people bus tours, and so a lot of it you were in a hotel like for one night, and then you got up early and went to the next. There were a couple, like Porto, we were in for 2 nights.
Same group the whole
Yeah.
time? You guys all get to know each other?
Some more than others.
Yeah.
Americans or
Whoa,
all
what does that
most
mean?
Well, you know, I don't
Did
like
you find
people.
romance
I don't
in
like
Portugal?
people.
Jill's like,
I don't like
hello.
people.
No,
So
talk to
I
me.
didn't know. Okay. Pretty much.
Mostly Canadians.
Mostly Canadians and Americans. We did have a guy from Singapore on there
Yeah.
who was, when President Bush went to Singapore, like the older President Bush, he was in the security detail.
Whoa.
No way.
So you got to
Wow.
know him. All right. So name one thing in Portugal that you liked that probably most people don't.
I didn't realize it was settled by the Celts.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
There's
There
a
you go.
ton of Roman stuff there still.
Nice.
All the
Nice.
roads are still, like, not all of them, a lot of them are still Roman roads. Kind of crazy.
What's a Roman road?
It's like
Like
brick.
cobblestone?
Yeah.
Kind of,
brick.
yeah, like
Like,
marble.
does
and,
Whiting still have cobblestone streets?
Hammond does.
Hammond.
Hammond
Yeah.
does?
I
People
think
accuse me
Cleveland-
of that sometimes.
Dude, those are so cool. I remember
The
driving down
Romans
those.
did Hammond streets. I don't know if you knew that.
Hey, Mayor, is this a
Yeah.
Roman
Yeah.
street?
Alexander
or
the
what?
Great.
Historical.
Yeah, it was a little known fact about Hammond.
The Celts settled.
Yeah, and in fact, the roads are still in that horrible condition.
we can't
what they like
touch
to
them.
tell you,
They're
right?
historically preserved. You can't fix them.
No, those are cool, yeah.
Thanksgiving. So were you overseas for Thanksgiving then, or were you back
No,
by
we
then?
flew in the evening before.
Yeah,
All right, Thanksgiving at home.
that's cool.
Everybody have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, you had the whole family in town.
Had all the boys
That's
in
nice.
town. My Matt's,
jealous of you.
my brother's youngest daughter, Peyton, was in from New York City. She came.
See,
in
we
and hung
don't
out with
have
us.
like my kids are at the point where they have other places to be now.
See, I don't
So
have
Marissa
any
and I
like,
are like
significant.
Tommy was home and Patrick was home, but Chase was splitting time and Lindsay was splitting time.
Yeah, you're in that
I'm in
mode.
that phase.
Yeah, I'm
We're
not there
like-
yet.
But it's weird. You guys are more empty nesters than us because Charlie is gone.
Her's gone,
So
but
we
it
have
seems like they're
Patrick at
home
home.
all the time. That's weird, but yeah, you've got.
My kids are gone, dude.
Yeah, that's true. They
They're
live
like,
elsewhere.
later, pops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have like their own home.
Well, they have to it's
Like-
like joint parenting now. Like we have to go over to this
Right.
house and then we'll be at yours.
Got to
When,
see
you
the
know,
in-laws.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
We combined ours. It saves us a lot of headache.
Well, you
that
bring the
day.
in-laws in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
all in one house. Yep.
Oh, that's
Huh,
very nice.
That's really
Yeah,
cool. That's a
yeah.
good idea.
Bring the families together.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do it at Aaron's house.
I was going to say, did Aaron's cooking live up to the hype?
Yeah,
Nice.
he screwed up one turkey.
Did
and
he?
yeah, and
and no one let him live it down, apparently.
well, we had like 3 turkeys. Okay.
All right.
Marissa made 1. Aaron made 2. So he screwed
It
up
was 1 for 2.
He screwed up 50%
I
of
was
the
going to
turkeys.
say
when you think
50%
about it. Yeah.
of the big
And
food.
by
That's
the way,
a lot of turkey.
I know 50. Well, we had a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Dude, he's got like an army of kids.
Are you
on his
straight
own.
turkey or are you like turkey ham?
No,
Yeah.
it's straight turkey, but like one
Same
of them
here.
was Cajun. It was good. That's the
Nice.
one Aaron. It was ready like for dessert.
That was
A
the Grandma's
dessert- a
little
dessert
And by the
turkey.
way, like
turkey with your pumpkin pie.
I had a throwaway comment in the last show that got me in hot water
Really?
with the
I didn't catch this.
with my boss.
Oh,
I get out of
With the
here.
judge?
She's like, "Oh, Aaron's the best cook in
Oh,
the
I
family."
knew.
huh?
Somebody said that last. There, I think somebody alluded to that when you said that. They said, "Uh oh."
Aaron's the best cook in the family. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't say that."
Why
I
don't you go
said
to
a
Aaron's
good
for
cook."
dinner?
And she's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, have fun at Aaron's. You and your brother." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You're a great cook." And she's like, "Yeah, but I'm not the best. Aaron's the
Oh,
best." And I'm
see?
like, "I didn't say that, Marissa."
I think you did.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to it. Like the first time I did not say it. I don't know why at the end of the show I said that. I was like, "Yeah, Aaron's the best cook in the family." And then I show up to Thanksgiving because I'm in hot water with Marissa. I'm like, "Dude, I said you're the best cook in the family, and you weren't even listening."
See?
He wasn't. And then
And-
he screws up the turkey.
50% of them.
50% of the turkeys are messed up. So yeah, that's what I'm not ever doing that to Marissa again.
No, that's a good idea
Yeah.
since she cooks most of your meals.
Like
Not-
99% of
So
them.
you bet-
And
yeah.
why am I giving Aaron laurels?
Credit.
Right?
Agreed.
Screw Aaron.
He doesn't even watch the show.
Right? He's not even watching.
He's like,
I'm like
you
giving
did?
him credit.
You told me You said
yeah,
I
I
was the
pissed
best
off
cook.
my wife for my brother, and he's not even watching. Asshole.
Sounds like a successful show.
Yeah, there you go. 50% ratio, Aaron.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all I got to say. Cajun turkey.
Tell us about I know I saw this in the paper. It was, by the way, front page on the Times.
I noticed that.
Something you do that you've done
What?
every year without much attention or
Nobody works on
asking
Thanksgiving,
for any credit,
including
and-
reporters, but not this Thanksgiving. I walked into the annual Sailor Thanksgiving because we have Great Lakes Navy base by where we are, and we have an organization called the Hammond Mohawks, and every Thanksgiving they host about 50 squids in boot camp. excuse me, I can call them squids. In
You
boot
were
camp.
one.
I was, right? And they pull them in, and we feed them Thanksgiving meal. And I'm a guest speaker. I don't do any preparation or anything. I'm like, I come in and I talk to them about being in the Navy and stuff like that. And I've done it every year for.
And these are young kids, right? These are 18, 19.
Well, actually, that's a good question because usually they're young, but the Navy and the military is changing now. There was some kid. One kid was 26. There was some guys in their 30s in there.
You were
in boot
you
camp.
were out of the Navy by then.
Yeah, and they're in their 30s in boot camp.
Wow.
And a number of them had college degrees and they're enlisted. So that's a lot different from when I was in. I think that shows you about the economy and about how bad they need people, honestly. Because if they're bringing 30-year-olds in as E1s, 30-year-olds. I was, like you said, I was out when I was 24.
Wow, 24 out.
I was out.
And these
honorable
guys are
discharge.
30
And they're getting in to start their career. And they're like,
maybe
by the time I was already a lawyer, and they're getting in.
Yeah,
now.
Do you start at a higher rank if you go in with a degree?
I believe you could. I think they'll probably start, but it's not that much higher.
Right.
It's like E4. But they'll probably go to boot camp as like an E2, and then they'll get out as an E4. But I got out as an E4 because I was in an advanced training. But yeah, it's not worth it.
I wonder if it's also just maybe people looking at the military as a new career, like at 30 or at 28. Like,
they're like, I got nothing else going.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is that's good for the military too if people are taking a look.
I think if I had to speculate, and it's pure speculation, I think it's about they're having trouble hitting their numbers, so they're relaxing their standards.
Oh, and like letting people in.
I mean, think about it. We get police and fire, we're scrambling, right?
Yeah.
And we relax our standards to get more, police or fire, into the Hammond Police and Fire Department. I imagine the military is probably relaxing their standards as well. I mean, it's not often you get somebody that's willing to give up 4 or 6 years of their life to mama, daddy, federal government.
Yeah, and I think it's even harder at 30 because you kind of have your family
or it's
set,
not. Or it's not.
Yeah, maybe
you're like flipping burgers or something. You're
True.
like, what the hell am I going to do with my life?
I'll
watch
watch the commercial and go to the Navy.
May as well.
So when you talk to these guys, what's the are they?
They're like all ears because they know I've been through it, and so I'm like truly like. They're all ears. Most of them are listening.
And this is mostly their
90% of them are like active listening. There's a couple watching the game. I can tell when they haven't seen football in 2 months.
Wow.
So they're like, just they get phones there. They get stuff they haven't had in months.
Communication with their families.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Do they have
some people are from Illinois also, and their parents actually come there to see them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw that a couple years ago.
And that may be the first time the parents have seen them.
And the parents now that used to come in to see their kid, now they are a part of the team that helps put on Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's cool. So this is a real tradition.
Yeah, like their kids are in the active Navy now, but they're still coming back to the Mohawks to help take care of the kids in boot camp, which is
that's
nice.
really cool.
Yeah, so this is something I really love.
How long is
it's a
boot
great
camp?
program. 2 months.
So these guys are like in the middle of it, and
these guys were like 1 week away from being done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're going to the fleet. Most of them are going to school now. After they get out of boot camp, you go to school. I went to school for 1.5 years after boot camp. So it depends on what your job is. If your job is relatively easy, like you're tying knots or something, like a yeoman, you'll probably just go straight to the fleet. Right.
Wow. The fleet. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
There's someone whose specialty is tying knots.
Yeah, I think they're called yeomen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you like
basically
pull up
they're
dock,
they're topside. It's
right.
They have to be able to tie knots, throw rope. They have to be able to stand watch with weapons. You're on top of the ship, like
on
you're
the deck.
First, yeah,
Whoa,
you're the first line of defense. If somebody and we didn't have back then, we didn't even have guns. Now they have automatic weapons topside.
Yeah.
Back then, we didn't even have guns, dude. I think we did have guns.
You said like your sidearm.
Yeah, you had a sidearm. I didn't. Shit, they didn't trust me with a gun.
There were guns on the sub.
Yeah, but like guns, like a pistol. Nowadays they have automatic weapons. They're sitting there with automatic weapons nowadays. Yeah.
Yikes.
They got to be, because if you get into a submarine, you could do bad things. If they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, I bet.
You got nuclear weapons there. I mean, even if you didn't know how to operate the submarine, if you get into a submarine and you set off nuclear weapons, you could do that.
No kidding. Yeah, I just saw yesterday U.S. Mason had to go and get some pirates, Somali pirates off the coast of Yemen, and then there was a missile shot towards it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if the automatic weapons are going to help when a missile's coming.
Military's a dangerous place. A lot more dangerous than when
kidding.
I was in. When I was in, man, we played cards and we were worried about getting crushed by water, not by getting killed
and found by
terrorists.
Russians.
Yeah, we weren't getting worried about terrorists. We were worried about Russians.
Yeah,
because Russians are the bad guys. By the way, Republican Party, That's our enemy. Vladimir Putin is not our friend.
Mm-mm.
Like, you talk to anybody that's been in the military, and they laugh in your face when you say Russia. We're like, you're close to Russia because your dictator Trump is close to Russia.
I'll tell you, I saw Frontline. I love Frontline, by the way. Just last week, it's a documentary called 20 Days in Mariupol. And if you haven't seen it, is unbelievable. And if you don't think that the Russians, by the time you're done with that, I think it's pretty clear what happened because it's early part of the war. So something to watch.
You know what was distressing this weekend, though, Jill?
Tell me.
Notre Dame football game wasn't televised.
What?
Oh,
Dude.
It's insane.
What the fuck?
I've only thought of that. That's only happened one time that I can remember.
It's Notre Dame. This is a national team. And you got to scramble like I'm watching.
Scramble like impossible.
Like I'm not watching a high school football game. This is the University of Notre Dame playing Stanford.
Mm-hmm. Another huge
in
school.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And you can't find a way to get the goddamn TV to cover it.
I was literally following it on my Yahoo Sports app.
Oh.
Like play by play. I was like
that.
watching it like
Dude, what
like a football on this side. And
Right.
that
What
side.
is freaking FUBU, John? Like, what is the FUBU?
That's
Is
for
that
us by us. Isn't that a clothing brand?
That ghetto clothing brand?
Whoa,
Hold it,
whoa.
Ding,
No,
ding,
no,
ding,
no.
ding.
Hold it. But
Whoa.
I'm talking about it's like a streaming service.
Correct.
Jill?
It's a
I know nothing about
sports-themed
that.
streaming
It is? Does it have
service.
anything to do
I
with the
joined
clothing
it.
wear?
I joined it.
No.
I joined it for like 3 minutes, and I unjoined it.
Wait a minute. Let me ask a question, John. How can they? Isn't it the same name as the clothing brand?
No. FUBU, FUBU.
Okay.
Fubo.
Fubo is the streaming service.
It's a sports-focused streaming app.
I joined it because they said that they had the game.
Right.
You joined it.
They said they had the game and they didn't.
Yeah, and I got on there. I couldn't find it, and then
What
it
is
was like
this?
$84 a month. I'm like, what the heck? Like I
No
totally
free trial?
Yeah, I had a free trial, but I didn't trust it. It was shady as hell. Fubo. So like literally,
right. I
I
literally
get
thought
like
it
a
was
stream
FUBU.
of emails. Right here, I sent you a copy of the stream of emails I got.
This is your inbox?
Yeah, this is my inbox. Dude,
Oh
I get
my
like 6
God.
Fubos in a row, and it was like a relationship saga. Starts off like, welcome to the club. Hey, I hope everything's
Right.
great. And then by the end, it's like, is everything all right? And then the last one is, we'll miss you.
Look at this. This is
All
like all in
within-
like 15 minutes.
It was like my whole relationship.
First one, finish setting up your account.
Right.
Don't forget about us.
Uh-huh.
Everything's better when it's free.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the team.
Yep.
And then 15 minutes later, we'll miss you.
It was a whole relationship. I went through a whole thing with them because of Notre Dame football.
Fubo.
Yeah. Notre Dame screwed me.
And they didn't even have it on there.
No. And then I'm like, great. They got my credit card info, all this crap. So I just
You're out.
canceled. And then, yeah. Notre Dame.
So they're not going to be a sponsor.
No. Fubo
No,
is
I don't
not.
think Fubo's going to sponsor us, yeah.
Fubo.
Chad is saying Fubo is legit, though.
Wow. Really?
I was legitimately out within 5 minutes. But like my stupid cable bill, I paid like, it's like, cable is like $300 a month in my house.
Okay, you got to cut that
You have
cord,
cable?
man.
Yeah, I have cable.
I have cable too. It's way expensive.
Yeah, but you get everything.
Yeah.
Like I get every goddamn game I ever want. I could watch freaking like Kansas State
You
play
can watch
football
Portuguese
against like
soccer.
I could watch
Yeah,
everything,
Good.
but I can't watch Notre Dame Stanford.
That's insane.
What the hell is wrong with like America's just slipping, dude?
I knew Tiffany was going to get in chat. She was just talking about Fubo, saying it's legit.
Oh,
and now
thanks,
she's
Tiffany.
in chat saying it's legit.
Well, I didn't trust it. I never heard
Tiffany
of it.
said
I thought
it's
it was
legit?
I thought
Yeah.
it was a T-shirt. Right? I mean a tennis shoe brand. So I bailed.
I think we're
didn't
going to
know
get
it
in
was-
trouble
Why?
if we keep talking about Fubu.
Fubo.
I-
What if we're
Fubo.
confused?
Maybe they want to name the studio.
Fubo Studios.
Live from Fubu Studios. Fubo Studios.
I would welcome either.
Dude, they got to pay.
I know.
In the
I'd welcome
meantime,
either.
You got
Or
to pay.
clothes.
Come on
Clothing.
in.
I
Either,
think I
either.
had Fubu growing up. I think I used to
It
wear
was
like
very
their
popular.
jeans.
I bet you did, John.
Oh, no, it was like Jankos.
Janko.
Yeah, I had Jankos.
I saw a picture of John when he was a little kid.
Did you?
Yeah.
What?
Mm.
Yeah, standing by the "Welcome to Hammond" sign.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
such a little cutie. I was
There
like,
he is.
oh, little Johnny,
Representing his hometown.
Yeah,
little
man.
Johnny.
The welcome
He was
sign.
such a little cutie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell
Still
happened. Yeah,
Anyway, moving on.
I want to know, John, you said cut the cord.
Yeah.
Regarding, like, what?
I'll help you.
I'm so nervous
I'll help
about
you.
that.
I'll
am
just
too.
take a percentage of what I save you.
dude. If I can't watch,
I would pay you.
I would
do
miss
that.
every Notre Dame football game if I cut the cord.
I know. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Now what am I on? Like
I
Hulu and
know.
like YouTube TV. Everybody loves YouTube TV.
I'll end up spending like $200 more because I'd be joined to every service Notre
Yeah,
Dame was on.
that's my-
and the
that's-
Cub Network and all
and
that.
like trying to get it all hooked
Yeah.
up.
I still have an antenna.
There you go.
What?
Damn. All
That's
right.
old school.
That is
Old school.
very old school. Talk about cutting the cord.
Yeah.
Come to cable, Jill. Like, make the move.
Well, in my car, I
Just give me your
disabled my
password.
airbags. How about that? Just my passenger airbag. Yeah. I'm old school like that.
No seatbelts.
All right, let's do some ads, and then we'll come back, and we'll talk about other stuff.
Yes, thank you to our episode sponsor,
All right.
Cantrell and Cantrell.
Cantrell. Oh, I didn't say that. Thanks to our episode sponsor, Cantrell and Cantrell, live from Swiss Six Studios here. Season 10, episode 23. Cantrell and Cantrell.
Also
attorneys at
sponsored by
law.
Kuklakis Law. Thank you all.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
very annoyed that the only episode that John was here the entire time was when I wasn't here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
You love your John.
What
Maybe we-
episode was that?
That was
is weird.
Tom-
John
Tom
was
out
only
of
in here
town.
one time this whole.
Twice.
The
Twice
whole
this
the
season.
whole episode though. Usually
Really?
he just
He's been
pops in
busy
and
though.
leaves.
We asked him a
Yeah,
couple times.
he's
He
popped
couldn't.
in and out.
Yeah.
I think once or twice, and then I had him on when you
So
were
we'll talk
gone, which was
about
fun.
somebody who hasn't been here forever, and he's getting a complex about it. And
Who?
Matt Reardon, dude.
Ooh, we got to get
bring
Reardon,
him back,
man.
dude. It's unacceptable.
I think it's going to have to be season 11.
It's unacceptable.
All right, Matt Reardon, you're on season 11.
dude.
Come
It's
back.
unacceptable.
We miss you.
He's like, what the fuck? Did
Yeah.
did I piss you off?
No.
I said it. You pissed off Kevin. I think.
Oh,
That's what
there
I
you
told
go.
him. It's Mr. Six Studio, Reardon. I'm like,
Kevin
you know?
said no. Kevin vetoed.
Kevin
Yeah, he
freaking
totally
said no.
vetoed, man. I
He's
said,
not-
let's bring Matt on. He's like,
Kevin
F
rules
no.
with an iron fist.
Yeah.
It's a little known fact about LOCPod. Kevin's like Vladimir in here.
He changed the code. We couldn't even get in.
Lock
It's
it
like
up.
he's like, do you know what the name of the goddamn studio is? Smith Sursick, buddy. Yeah.
Start it off.
All right, Calumet Brewing, Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager, is calling you to embrace the great outdoors, the roar of NASCAR, and the joy of cracking a cold one. Celebrate life's moments with Busch Light, and then head over to Cal Brew on Facebook or Instagram for a chance to win a Busch Light Igloo cooler that I'm taking home at the end of season 10. Visit Busch.com and their social media pages for exciting updates and events. Head for the mountains of Busch and enjoy beers and cheers responsibly.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I was just thinking we have one more episode left.
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
What's going to happen?
Are we giving that cooler away? Like
We
the
should give it
next
to Mayor
episode?
Joe.
Kevin,
Yeah,
Is he coming in the
yes,
studio?
Mayor, that's right.
Well,
So
That
you
would
just broke
be-
the news.
That is classic.
that is going to be great.
Mayor Joe, we're giving you the congratulations on your win.
Breaking news. LOCPod will be giving away to Mayor Joe the Igloo cooler that we've been waiting to give away all season.
We got to put LOCPod.
I was going to say
LOCPod
LOCPod.
swag.
We'll put a shirt. We need a couple stickers to
Yes,
put on there.
yes.
we
Like
should just
Baltonsburger
tailgate.
at
We should just
Misprint.
sit in the parking lot and tailgate with
And
the
drink
cooler
and drink all the warm Busch Light in there.
Bush Light, warm Bush Light with like LOCPod swag.
Yes,
And
to Mayor Joe. I love this.
LOCPod's #1 fan.
Yes, I love this
All
idea.
right, don't tell him. Okay, we got to make it like a Christmas present.
All right.
okay? And you know he's listening, but
He's going to be really
all right,
excited. So
that's, we agree.
The breaking news, by the way, was Hogsett's going to be on the show.
Oh.
Not that we're giving him the cooler. But yeah, that's
sorry.
going to be a
Sorry,
great
Joe.
season finale, right?
it really is. Mayor Joe's coming up. He's going to Chicago for an event. He's stopping through Northwest Indiana on Friday, and he's coming on the show. Mayor Joe Hogsett.
Yep.
Fresh off election victory.
Yeah, boom.
Let's go.
All right.
For decades, the Ron J. Pressmer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. Their wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance, have helped over 1,000 individuals and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Byway Brewing, a family-friendly microbrewery, welcomes you to their spacious tap room and outdoor patio. Maybe not so much today. It's
Yeah, no shit.
Pretty fucking cold out.
Very cold.
enjoy.
It was 18 degrees when I woke up.
Yep, that's chilly.
Enjoy award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Their unique brewing equipment and production facility provide a perfect backdrop for private events, whether it's a bridal shower, reunion, or corporate party. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Customer service is our top priority at Byway Brewing. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Kuklakis Law. Are you currently navigating complex legal challenges, unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Kuklakis Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and in Illinois. Whether you're seeking expert representation for real estate transactions, need assistance in forming your business, or have experienced a personal injury at work or in a car crash, Kuklakis Law is here for you. No matter the nature of your legal issue, their team is ready to help. Call Kuklakis Law today at 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Thank you to our sponsors, especially our episode sponsor, Cantrell and Cantrell. Better
right.
call Cantrell.com.
All right, we're going to do this isn't a tough segment, but one of the things, but it is. That's why I'm like previewing it. No, seriously, this is a segment I can get in trouble on.
Oh,
Ooh.
God.
Oh.
Here we
One of
go.
those.
Just what we need.
Episode
of those.
23.
I'm glad
The
I didn't read the
Midwest's
notes that Kevin sent
most
me.
dangerous podcast.
This is an example of the most dangerous podcast.
There
We're
we
going to
go.
wade on thin ice, and this is such a non-story, but you're going to understand why I think it's a big story. Okay? So I'm like setting it up. All right? This is something, one of the things we have on LOCPod that other podcasts do not have is it's like a reality show. We're running city government here. The four of us do have roles in city government, and we see things and we experience things. And sometimes we take those things to the airwaves to explain to the public the kind of things that we go through running government. Okay? John's actually on the park board, right, John? Are you president of the park board?
Yeah.
Okay. Jill
Yes.
actually runs, not for the park, she works for special events. But one of the things about with Jill and with John being out in front like that in the public is we experience the public, obviously, and sometimes good, sometimes bad.
They're awful.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad, right?
Fair.
A lot of times they're good, but sometimes it's not good.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing, unfortunately, for us is we get to see the worst in people, unfortunately, because we're government and nobody really hides their emotions when they talk to government.
And, that's the right of the public, the
Yeah.
right of the voter, right of the residents.
I have the First Amendment right to be an asshole to you.
And they
I
sometimes
pay
take
your
that to heart.
salary.
I hate it when people say that because you don't. By the way, you don't. It's a collection of about 80,000 people that do, and you're one of 80,000. I like to point that out. They are like, I'm your boss. Well, not really. Actually, you're not my boss. You and 79,999 other people
There you
are my
go.
boss, right?
Collectively, yes, that's
Collectively, but you individually, no. But the reason I'm setting this up so carefully, okay? We made a decision in the Sportsplex that's going to start to come out shortly about revamping a program that's been going on in Hammond for a long time it's called Hammond Youth Hoops, but it was called Hessville Youth Hoops for a long time.
Yeah, I used to have it at Morton High School, and my kids played
For
it.
years.
It was very popular.
My kids played in it.
Yeah.
John, did you play in it?
No.
Hessville Hoops. Morton High School was like youth hoops. Not like it wasn't like, it was just kind of like almost like a community program, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh my gosh.
Was it like AAU?
No. It was like a rec program with Hammond kids. And
Like a rec program, like
Yeah.
a YMCA league.
Right, exactly.
So like some kids that are playing it probably have no chance to ever make the high school team.
I would say,
Most of them.
80%, sure.
Right. Most of the kids playing.
Yeah.
Or like they just love basketball.
my friends are playing. Let's all get on a team,
Right.
Stuff
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Right. And like
absolutely.
Johnny's dad from down the street's coaching, and I want to play with Johnny's
Exactly.
right?
Right.
This is the kind of league it is. This isn't like travel basketball.
No.
This isn't like slam dunk basketball. This is like, that's traveling. You can't do that. This is what you have to do. This is a basic offense. This is a basic rec league.
Right. This is how you play zone. This is how you play man-to-man.
Rec league. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So like now the Sportsplex is a big venue. We can host massive tournaments. We have volleyball tournaments where hundreds of teams show up.
NCAA D2 stuff has been there.
Hundreds of
Yeah,
teams.
big
okay?
deal.
We could host hundreds of teams in volleyball over a weekend, and we could do it easy.
Yeah.
Right? We host soccer.
Indoor soccer,
Huge
beautiful.
tournaments. Sometimes for money. And
we don't promote that, but
no,
it happens.
no, actually it can happen. It's
Oh,
legal.
I didn't know
It does
that.
it all the time. They do it all the time.
Oh, you mean the money? Yes,
Like
the
they're
adult
pros.
leagues.
They're
Adult
pros.
leagues.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll come in and
I
they'll
thought
be
you were
like,
talking about
dude,
the
there's
youth
like a
leagues.
real purse with these places. Did you know that, Joe? They'll have a soccer game at the Sportsplex. On the line will be like $20,000. And they'll pay for entry to get in there, and they'll have people just drinking beer at the bar watching the soccer game, and it's like pro players on the Sportsplex playing for a
Interesting.
purse. And we have these events,
Didn't know that.
and we could do it with very little police. Like volleyball tournament, we had hundreds of teams. We literally have one officer, and we're not putting the officer there because we're worried about fights or the crowd. We got an officer there. We're worried about the gate to protect the money and the people working there, not because we're worried about something that happens inside, right? Even these huge soccer games,
Not often to see a volleyball fight.
you don't.
Yeah.
We'll have 1,000 people in the Sportsplex, and we'll have no incidents at all, right? And then we have soccer with huge purse, $20,000 purse, people drinking everywhere, nothing, right?
I think I know where you're going with this.
That's why it's dangerous.
Oh.
So what we've noticed with Hammond Youth Hoops, excuse me, I still call it Hessville because it was so long called Hessville. Now it's called Hammond Youth Hoops. We have to have more and more police presence every week because of fights amongst the parents.
Amongst the parents?
Yes.
So not the little kids, or what age groups? Is
It
this
doesn't
like
matter.
6
It could be 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
The mom and dad are, fighting with another mom and dad in the stand, or
Yikes.
they're yelling at the coach, or they're yelling at our staff, calling our staff names, saying our staff is racist. So it's gotten progressively worse every year, and it's getting to the point where We just don't want to do this anymore.
Oh, that's not.
It's more trouble than it's worth.
That's sad.
So, is it just Hammond kids that can do like the program, or is it okay?
No.
Can we limit it to Hammond?
Can we limit it to Hammond?
Well, no. I mean, the thing
Maybe
is now
solve the problem.
this program's really big now, and it's very popular. And now what it's coming down to is like huge teams of people from high school. Now, we had a problem, and I was going to do mailbag, and that's what started this whole thing off. I was going to do a mailbag with this guy's letter. Basically, what this guy's letter was, he's a coach in Hammond Youth Hoops, okay? And if I was going to believe what this guy wrote in the letter, and I'm going to let's just assume he's telling the truth. What this coach is telling me
This is a letter to you.
Yeah, as
like
the mayor.
It's arrives at the mayor's desk.
It's a 3-pager. It's like in intimate detail.
Oh, this is already going to be bad.
And now I'm going to
3-pager.
Let's say
The
that
youth
I'm going to
hoops coach.
just assume that everything in the letter is true.
Okay.
This coach is telling me, Mayor, you have a grand conspiracy in the sportsplex.
Oh.
The conspiracy is this: the leader of your park department and the leader of the sportsplex, the leaders of the sportsplex, like the leader of basketball and the top 2 people running the sportsplex, and your park department head are conspiring together to prevent my team from winning the championship.
Wait, me?
Come on.
I'm just now hearing
John,
about it.
how
me?
could you do
No,
that?
you're not in this.
Okay. I was like,
No,
That
no,
sounds like
Jim.
a lot of
Jim.
work.
Basically, yeah, the head of the park department, the head
There's a conspiracy.
of the sportsplex, the head of all these people are getting together. These people have good jobs, okay? Like the head of the sportsplex, she has a master's degree and she worked her butt off to get to this position. So if I'm going to assume that this gentleman's correct, the coach that's writing me, he's saying all these people with these great jobs are conspiring together to prevent his team from winning the championship.
And this is one team within the rec league within a certain age group.
Yes.
Like we're going after you, buddy.
And they're racist.
Oh.
And they were rude to me.
Oh, well, all right.
And so of course I call them in.
Sure.
What's going on, guys?
First of all, I can't believe. I think it's very nice of you to do that because I think you've got a lot of other things to do on your plate.
Oh,
and
no,
you decided
I take race issues very seriously.
I get it, but I mean, I'm just thinking like a basketball league. Whoa.
Especially racist conspiracy.
Yeah,
Racist
that's true.
conspiracy.
All right, fair enough. So you bring
With my
in.
staff. Further complicating it, my staff happens to be, mostly Caucasian. Not mostly. It's a diverse staff at the sportsplex. I do, but the people being accused are primarily Caucasian.
All right.
Well, they have to be racist, so they have to be
right. Yeah. So that's obviously concerning for me. Like if I'm giving credit to this letter, then I got to find out what's going on.
Fair enough.
So I call them in.
All
what's
right.
going on? Why does this coach feel like you guys are conspiring to screw them over? And they told me the story. They said it's this way, Mayor. This guy has 4 high schoolers on his team.
So
and
he's
they all
loading the team up.
And they all made the high school basketball team.
Okay.
And this is about eligibility.
You can't play during the same season.
Oh,
I don't know these
We
rules,
should have asked
Jill.
Jill. Jill's a
Jill,
coach.
I don't.
Yeah.
So what the sportsplex staff did in this case was say, "Hey, coach, your kids, because they're going into the playoffs, right? And they're like, hey, coach, your kids made the high school team. Under IHSAA rules, Indiana High School Athletic Association rules, if these kids play in this tournament, this stupid in-house tournament over this stupid in-house league, they'll lose their high school eligibility." So my staff,
Jill, that's true?
Yes.
Okay.
so
wow.
our staff was nice enough to tell the coach and the parents, hey, you guys can't play. Because if you do, you're going to screw up your real career. Your real shot
most
is
kids
through
really
high school
care
basketball.
About high school basketball.
This is bullshit what we're doing here. We're playing bullshit Sunday pickup, right?
Yeah,
if you
right.
guys play here, because there's officials from the high school here. They'll see you and they'll report you and you won't be able to play high school basketball.
Whoa.
So who's being nice? Our staff.
I would think.
Our staff is being nice.
Sounds like a racist move.
So I get the 3-page letter accusing everybody of being racist and this huge conspiracy to hold down this poor guy's team because we don't want him to win the bullshit Sunday Rec League championship.
And when you say bullshit, it's bullshit compared to their potential the high school stuff.
Thank you.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is
it's
a
still
bullshit
fun.
Sunday pickup league. It's like if we play on Saturdays and it's bullshit. The real prize is playing for your high school team, trying to go to the state championship, and if you screw up your eligibility playing in this Sunday league.
And this league, I think, like you said, it's like a developmental rec league. It's probably one of those leagues where everybody plays a couple quarters.
Yes.
They got to rotate.
Everybody has
in and
minimum
out.
amounts. You have to play.
I mean, don't get me
It's
wrong.
a rec league.
Right. I mean, it's still exciting and
Yes.
stuff, and the kids are learning, and
Yeah.
I'm sure whoever wins is excited they won the tournament. But, in comparison, let's put it in perspective here.
So they didn't get a thank you. They actually got accused of being racist.
Yes.
You should just stop keeping score at those
Interesting.
games.
Or stop having the games.
You have an interesting idea.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
stop keeping score.
It's a rec league. So we're going rec next year. We're completely revamping the league.
Whoa.
We're going to make it lame.
You heard it here.
We're going to make it lame.
Truly developmental.
It's literally developmental. And I'll be honest with you. If we keep having problems, I want to just go all volleyball at the Sportsplex. We could have tournaments 3-4 times larger than a basketball tournament, make way more money, and I don't even have to have one cop there. We put cops there to protect the purse. There's no problems in the stands. Nobody gets called racist. Nobody freaking throws accusations around about grand conspiracies to hold a volleyball team down. It's that sport is becoming dangerous.
I don't know.
Sport.
And I think it worked.
Basketball.
Wasn't there actually also some problems like with open gym? I mean, it was basketball.
We stopped doing it.
Wow.
You know why? Fights.
Jeez.
Blatant drug
People,
use.
calm yourselves down.
Like if we had open gym at Sportsplex, we'd be like inviting shitheads from all over Chicago to come to our place and play basketball. I hate to say it. And they come there and act like assholes. And then they tear the place up and they cause problems. And we said, it's not worth, we'll make $200 at the gate and I'll hire $2,000 worth of cops to cover the event. We're losing money hand over fist in basketball.
Man, and I love basketball. I love high school.
Basketball's got a problem. Like the city of Hammond has the biggest venue in northern Indiana, and we can't put on a basketball tournament without huge fights and parents acting like assholes. Well, and that's a fact.
I'll tell you something, man. If you're a parent and that's the way you act, I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's so embarrassing. I mean, and number one, you're living through your kid anyway, who's not going to make the NBA and probably won't even make
your kid's not going to make it.
And he's not going to make a D1 team, by the way.
Or D2.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Little
Johnny ain't going to make it.
No.
Little Johnny's in a developmental league, and our staff isn't holding Little Johnny
If
down.
you're getting in a fight at the developmental league, you got problems anyway.
They are.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They are. And they're fighting with
our to see some video.
Oh, Kevin. This has been causing me headaches. Like, I've been literally hearing it from the staff all the way through. And they were literally, and then when we got that letter, we called them all in, and we were like, "This is the final days of Hammond Youth Hoops." So enjoy it, everybody. Damn. Enjoy it, because when it comes back next year, it's going to be a developmental league, and high schoolers aren't even going to be playing it anymore. Screw you. We're going to go 12 and under.
Oh,
We're
I like
have
that.
Little kids. No, screw these older kids. You
that's a good
guys go
idea.
off and play for your middle school team, high
these
school.
older
Go
kids.
honestly, go yell at those coaches. No, it's not the kids. It's
I
the
understand,
parents.
I know.
Go yell at your high school coaches and middle school coaches. We'll see how that goes. Right? Go call them racist. Go tell them they're all holding little Johnny down. Let's see how that attitude works out for you in the long run.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm not going to keep on putting these events on. Somebody's going to get killed.
Yeah,
Somebody's
I
going
think
to get
that's the
shot,
thing. Someone's
and then
gonna-
I'm going to have a dead body in the freaking Sportsplex. And it's not going to happen in a volleyball tournament. It's not going to happen in a soccer. It's going to happen in a basketball tournament. I'm telling you. That's why we're conducting ourselves accordingly.
Well, hopefully getting.
And I'm not, listen, we built that Sportsplex to have huge basketball tournaments. And now that we've done it, I regret it. I regret that it's focused on basketball. If I was smart, I would have focused on soccer on one side, volleyball on the other, and I would have said, screw basketball. Because the parents can't conduct themselves appropriately, and it's affecting everything. You can't even get officials out there.
I feel
now.
bad for the kids.
I do
Could have
too.
predicted that, though.
It's not
John-
just basketball parents.
We did the story during the summer in baseball, right? It's not just basketball;
Yeah.
it's parents in general, right? Baseball. Patrick, I'll never forget this, John. Patrick went out when he became 16. He played baseball his whole life. He knows the rules inside out, right? So he becomes 16, buys this little kid. He bought like $150 worth of baseball
Aw.
gear to be an umpire.
And Patrick's the kind of guy that
He's all in.
he's going all in, and I guarantee you he knows every rule.
He does.
Like, he's going to go in it
He knew
with
it
an
just as a-
attitude of just
Right.
I'm going to be a good umpire.
So he goes, and I'm not trying to pick on Dyer, but that's where he was working. He was working at Dyer, and he was getting tore up by the parents. And he wouldn't even talk to us. He'd come back, and he'd be real quiet. He'd just go in his bedroom, and we're like, and I was so proud of him because he went out of his way
Yeah.
to get the job and get scheduled.
You
and
didn't tell him to
get
do it?
certified. I didn't tell him to do it. He bought all this stuff. He was so motivated,
Pumped about it.
and he was destroyed by parents.
Yeah, I'll tell you. and
Destroyed, like a little kid. He's a freaking 16-year-old kid, and you're an adult yelling at a kid. You're a freaking moron.
I think I'm just worried that this is maybe indicative of what's going on around the country and people.
100%.
And you have you have people in Congress elbowing each other
Yep.
and yelling at each other and being disrespectful
Yep.
and I'm not even trying to say this person or that person or this party or that party. Just in general, the way that our federal government and people in it act sometimes.
Yeah.
and how people treat each other, it's ridiculous. Civil discourse is like out the window.
Agree.
It's unbelievable,
It's
and it trickles down. I mean, you see it in government. We talked about the fact like Mayor's Night Out has become like, let's all scream and insult everybody.
I got my ass kicked at last Mayor's Night Out, and I'll be honest with you,
unbelievable.
I was of the opinion walking out like, why do I do Mayor's Night Out? I don't have to do Mayor's Night Out. I've done Mayor's Night Out for 20 years.
I ask myself the same thing.
Well, believe me, I know my staff does, John.
Yeah.
My staff is like, why do you do this? You don't have to do this, Mayor. You don't have to go out and take questions from Ken and his flock of people that are going to accuse you of being all these things. It's like, I don't have to do that. I do it for good government, right? Yeah. And then when I do it, I get like a core group of people that just want to try to embarrass me in public. It's like, whatever. It makes you wonder why. But like, I think, Kevin, you're right that America is headed towards this, like this civil discourse is history.
It's parenting.
Yeah,
it all comes down to. And I'm not a
definitely
parent,
starts at the house.
But look at the kid. Look at the parents you're describing at the sportsplex.
I agree.
What are they teaching their kids?
And their kids watching it because the kid's playing basketball and he sees daddy yelling at because and
that must be acceptable.
The coach won't play me because he doesn't like me or whatever.
Somebody get in the coach's face and yell at him.
And dad got in the coach's face, so I could do it too, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
What's interesting is the contrast you've seen with volleyball.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so crazy, right?
The one thing I'd say the difference, though, I would just like one thing I was just thinking about pointing out is like, volleyball isn't a contact sport. You're kind of like each team is on the other side of the net. So there's always less tension maybe.
And volleyball is women as opposed to
a lot of times. Yeah, they have boys leagues, but yeah, you're right. I mean,
but boys I think are more inclined to fight.
For sure.
I think emotion's probably a little bit higher in a
contact sport. I think probably football, basketball.
How about tennis? Is there opportunity there? That's a pretty
fights?
civil. No, a pretty civil sport.
Yeah, sure. Pickleball.
Pickleball.
Like a pickleball fight.
But like
search
tennis
that on Google.
There's less people watching a tennis game because a basketball game will draw a big crowd and
You have
Tensions
to be
run high.
quiet during tennis too.
Oh, good point.
Right,
kick you out.
Can't call people racist and stuff.
I mean, soccer. A lot of fights in
frowned
soccer.
upon.
In the stands, a lot of
we haven't noticed problems with soccer in the sportsplex.
No, I'm just saying like internationally you get to hear about it. But
we don't have problems with soccer, and we don't have problems with volleyball. In sportsplex, all our problems arise from basketball, and it's a fact. I mean, I hate to say it. And by the way, like we had the problem in MLK Court when we shut down basketball for a year there. I haven't had a problem since then.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I mean, I think it was kind of like a exactly. Knock on wood, right? But I think
sorry, Chief.
I think the cool thing about MLK Park was the community came out and you challenged them to take responsibility, take ownership of this court, and make it a safe place.
Yes, sir.
Because it wasn't, and they
did,
and it's been great. I mean, it's been awesome.
Hey, we're gonna do some ads, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about discourse being screwed up again. So we covered a story that happened in Highland where racist imagery, racist words were blasted onto a Zoom page, and it was front page news. It was a big story. And then something similar happened in Munster, which is the town we're in right now. And I heard a rumor it was up for 15 minutes, but we're going to get into this story a little bit more when we get back. 15 minutes, John.
Good thing for IT to hop in on.
Yeah,
John.
I knew there was going to be copycats, man.
I've been talking to IT a lot lately because this kind of stuff just scares the crap out of me.
Thank you to our episode sponsor, Cantrell and Cantrell.
All right.
I've been Googling pickleball fights for like
Nothing?
5 minutes. Nothing. I can't find
anything.
They're too old.
Sportsplex goes all pickleball.
There you go. That was my threat to
fight
MLK
zone.
Park. My threat to the basketball courts. I said, if we keep having problems out here, I'm turning all these into pickleball courts.
That's enough to make you behave.
Dude, it scared the hell out of everybody.
Kevin would love pickleball.
I would.
courts.
You know what was big in Portugal was sand soccer.
Oh, that seems cool.
What?
I thought it was. Never heard of it before.
Yeah.
They have a
Hosted
tournament in
like
Michigan
the
City
World
every year.
Championship.
Michigan City every year tournament. Yeah.
Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and family, trust industry leader Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. Their commitment to quality shines through in their roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranties in the business. Visit our website at rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity. Discover the flavors of Tortillas Nuevo Leon today.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Power in Indiana, Lake County, IBEW, Local 697, and NECA proudly introduce Power in Indiana, Lake County. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across the region, Power in Indiana, Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Visit 697jatc.org. That's 697jatc.org to join us as we continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time, always within budget. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions.
People in chat want pickleball courts, man.
I know. John, have I been
I know.
Jimmy to do this?
All right,
They're coming up north.
And
we're gonna turn the basketball side of the sportsplex into pickleball.
This winter.
The world's largest pickleball indoor
There it is.
facility.
There's a
news.
great.
We'll have like senior fights
You
instead
need a
of
pickleball coordinator now, don't you?
pickleball coordinator.
Kevin's
Fine,
applying.
I'm
I know
ready.
it, yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, we covered. We have a friend of ours, Toya Smith, councilwoman from Highland, until December 31st. Highland Town Council meeting had a tirade about African Americans that was not appropriate, obviously, and we covered it on LOCPod. Then shortly after, we had a copycat, like John said. Slurs interrupt council meeting in Munster. Racial epithets and anti-gay slurs interrupted the Zoom broadcast of Monday's Munster Redevelopment Commission meeting, and town officials are trying to find out who it was. Munster Town Manager Dustin Anderson said that the Munster Police Department is reviewing the video, adding that Zoom system has not been hacked. The racist who interjected hate into our meeting did so under the pretense of public comment, Anderson said. When called upon during the open to public portion of the Redevelopment Commission meeting, the person introduced himself and then began his bigoted tirade. We muted and kicked him off the meeting as fast as possible. While staff were trying to mute the tirade, the commenter also spewed an anti-gay slur, according to a Facebook post from Ryan Dean, who ran for Munster Town Council this fall. Munster Police Chief Steve Shuckle said that he has assigned a detective to investigate the case and track down the individual, indicating that he would pursue state and or federal charges if there is evidence a crime was committed. We're trying to run down that IP address, the chief said.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that apparently, and John, you called it when it happened in Highland, and it was on, in the news. It was viral. It was across the country. I saw it in the New York Post. I saw it in we saw it in the Washington Post. We showed that picture.
Forbes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, you said there's going to be copycats, and as an IT professional, I mean, is this something that you're hearing about?
Well, remember the Zoom portion of these meetings started because of COVID. We had to have a way to attend electronically.
Mm-hmm.
And Zoom bombing, as they called it, there was a little flare-up of that right at the beginning, and then it died down for a couple years. And now the Highland thing happened. I knew some shitheads were going to just start doing it again. So here it happened in Munster. So the challenge I think IT people face is you have to allow the public into these meetings, whatever platform you're on.
Electronically,
Zoom,
you mean, right?
Electronically, yeah.
Right.
Do you, though?
You do.
You absolutely
They changed the laws,
They changed the laws?
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You absolutely do. And they have to be
During
able
the
to...
pandemic, they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
They changed it so that you
Yes.
could allow that. And then all of them, so now that people are allowed to enter electronically.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's an electronic meeting, right? And so it's no different than, public comment on Zoom is no different, really. It's the virtual of walking up to the podium and saying your 2 minutes.
Correct.
But it's like keyboard warriors get excited.
So that's a good example, Kevin. So let's say this person decided to attend the meeting physically. They could go up during public comment and do the exact same thing.
Right.
Good
and
point.
I'm sure they would be escorted out very quickly.
Right.
And
the
beat up,
same
hopefully.
thing would happen virtually. I'll just tell you right now in Hammond, the same thing will happen virtually. If it's public comment and they start speaking, they may get a word out or two, but they're going to be kicked out immediately. I tell you what, it wouldn't last 15 minutes.
Wow.
I heard that Munster's it lasted 15 minutes. It doesn't say that. But this is another thing that I'm sort of complaining about, okay? Where we live, we have two sources of media. Okay, the Post and the Times. The Times is definitely the bigger of the two. Is that a fair statement?
Sure. I think. Well, yeah. The parent company of the Times is I forget Gannett maybe or Lee right. Publishing, and then the parent company of the Post Tribune is Chicago Tribune.
Not that matters.
No, I'm just.
I personally think the more informative paper for where we live is the Times. I personally feel that way. Okay,
the Times.
Yeah, I think the Post is great though. I read the Post every day also. Okay, but I think the Times is probably more the higher circulation.
For sure, higher circulation.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying the quality is different or anything. I think the quality of the Post is great, by the way.
I do too, by the way.
Okay, but I think the circulation for the Times is bigger. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay. Do you guys believe that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would say this: the Post is, kind of traditionally like a Gary paper, right? Like
True.
It was first a Gary, and like people that grew up in Hammond or
read the Times.
Read the Times. Sure,
okay.
Absolutely.
So this is where my bitch is coming from. Okay, I haven't read this in the Times yet. And I'm not. And listen, now listen. This could happen in Hammond, and if it happened in Hammond, I assure you it would be on the front page. It would be blasted because it would be directed towards me. I feel like the Times a lot of times throws me into an article to help like drive up.
Yeah, you sell papers for sure.
I think if it happens in Hammond, they run that story, no doubt about it. And it probably makes Hammond look like shit. It most likely makes Hammond look like shit. And I would be defensive because I'm representing our city, and I know it would be in the paper. Okay? So, like, all I want is just to be treated fairly. That's all I want. And if I see unfairness, I call it out. And Highland got blasted by the Times.
Front page.
Highland got blasted nationally. Highland got blasted in the Post. Okay? Same exact thing happens in Munster. Same exact thing. In fact, I think Munster's is probably worse because it was way longer than what happened in Highland. Okay, it's
allegedly,
yeah. And both of them are disgusting. Right.
And the public officials had pretty good reactions to it.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard Dustin, you heard everybody else.
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
public officials had great response. It said what needed to be said. Okay. However, when you look at the coverage on it, Highland gets blasted nationally. Highland gets AP. Highland gets Munster, the Munster Times. Highland gets the Post Tribune to cover it. Same thing happens in Munster. Post Tribune covers it. Smaller circulation paper, nothing else.
That's weird because and the Times moved from Hammond to Munster. Like Munster's there where they're located.
So it makes you wonder.
Oh. That's weird. And I mean, it doesn't seem like Dustin or the town officials were hiding from it.
It doesn't. I'm not
it's just
talking
weird.
about Dustin.
I know. I'm just saying,
about
like it's weird that why wouldn't the Times cover it?
Okay, how about this, Kevin? There was a recent incident that was on the news in the Chicago News that I didn't know about. Did you guys see that? Jill, this may have happened when you were gone. There was a really nice house in Munster that had a strong arm robbery. People like forcibly entered the house, tied up the occupants of the home, held them at gunpoint, robbed them.
Gated community.
Nice.
Shut up.
Nice neighborhood.
Did not know about this.
Probably one of the nicest.
Random?
I didn't even know about it until I saw it on Chicago News. And then I read about it in the Post. I still didn't see it in the Times.
I did a little bit of research in that. There was a blurb, but there was no
blurb.
Right. Like if that happened in
Kevin, if that happened in Hammond, it would be news for like a week.
Yeah, it was really terrible. People got beat up. They were tied. They were, duct tape around their face.
Robbed.
Yeah.
I think they got taken to an ATM and had to take money out.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Wow.
John, that's the thing. I represent the city of Hammond. It's my job to protect Hammond, right? I know for a fact if a strong arm robbery happened in a home in Hammond, that is such red, bloody meat for the press. They would be all over it. They would be overjoyed with covering that story.
Well, it was.
And
superintendent, remember? That was very unfortunate.
Right. And it's huge news, right?
Yeah.
But when I see the same thing happens in Munster and I learn about it from a Chicago media station, so there's two stories we just talked about right there where it seems like the Times is taking care of Munster.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that it seems, again, like the public officials in Munster are doing what they're supposed to do because, I saw that there was a press release from the Munster police on the day of the incident.
Great for them.
So it's
I appreciate that.
Right.
Steve Shakel's a great chief.
Absolutely.
And Dustin's a great town manager. I'm not complaining about that.
It's just weird.
I just want to be treated fairly by the media. This is about the media with me. I don't want the Times to treat Hammond one way. Same exact thing happens in Munster, and they're like, oh.
I think from a public information standpoint, and the public, a lot of times you'll talk to police. The public are great eyes and ears to help them solve things. So why wouldn't you put it out there so people can be like,
we just
hey,
learned
you know
that.
what? I was jogging down White Oak and I saw this car leaving, and this is what it looked like.
Kevin, I just had an employee of the city of Hammond busted the wire thief.
Eyes and ears, man.
Eyes and ears. Because he was being a good employee, and he saw something that didn't look right, and he called the cops. We busted the wire thief, the guy that's been plaguing our city for 5 years.
No kidding.
Based off Eddie Banda, my city employee. that freaking
Eddie.
busted the whole thing open.
Love Eddie Banda.
Eddie freaking Banda
Wow.
is like the employee of the week.
Wait, this
employee of the
wire,
month.
this wire thing that's been going on for
Months.
Yeah, Eddie
years.
Banda.
Months.
Eddie Banda.
Months
Yeah.
at least.
Eddie Banda
Wow.
busted the whole thing open
nice.
by seeing something that didn't look right. By the way, it was a company truck, Midwest Electric.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It was in a Midwest Electric truck. It was a guy that worked for them.
Oh my gosh.
That, by the way, Midwest Electric has a huge contract with the city of Hammond.
Wow.
Okay, and one of their employees was freaking ripping us off, man,
Dude,
and it pisses me off. We were paying this company hundreds of thousands of dollars to go around our city, and one of their employees is freaking stealing from Hammond residents.
So Eddie Banda
Pisses
noticed
me off.
something. Eddie Banda noticed something that didn't
Yes.
look right.
And he happens to be the lighting guy for us, and he saw his truck, and he's like, "What the hell is that truck doing there? That's our pole. That truck has nothing to do with that pole." So Eddie approaches the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, and he's like, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, I have to do like a work order on this." And Eddie's like,
He knows
So he
knows
takes
better.
a picture of the guy's truck, gets a
Wow.
license plate,
Whoa.
and then like he's like, "Dude, that's our pole. You have no business being in that pole." So we
Hands
get a
up.
license plate, Hammond residents. You give us a license plate. I will amaze you. We will amaze you with what we can do. You give us a license plate, I'll find out everywhere that son of a gun went in the city of Hammond for the last 2 years if we wanted to, right?
Oh my
So guess
God.
what?
John,
So we get
look
this.
out. I'm getting your plate.
We got this guy's license plate, and the cops start doing research, and it's like, oh, look at all these poles this guy pays attention to, and they happen to get stolen from right after. Eddie Banda busted that whole ring, and it's gonna go far. And I'm so proud of Eddie.
Congrats, yeah.
He not employee of the week, Eddie. Employee of the month. We're doing a party with Public Works employees because of him.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Key to the city.
Dude, because if you could
Not yet.
because if you could get if I can get all 1,000 Hammond's employees to be like Eddie,
Think about that.
to like go out there and keep their eye on our stuff and make sure that nobody's messing around. If you could do that, you have 1,000 police officers instead of 200.
It's a good point. And it just goes to show you that I think the police will tell you this all the time, the public, and that includes, of course, city employees and just people driving around or walking in their neighborhood. If you see something weird, call the police. They don't mind, by the way.
So, Kevin, that goes back to your point, though. So if the Times is taking care of Munster by not doing that story on the strong arm robbery,
You may not actually be taking care of
they're
them.
not taking care of their city, because you could get everybody that lives in Munster watching out for these people.
Yeah.
And what if it's a ring and they're doing
It
another
could
house?
easily
And then
be a ring. It could
people
be
are-
another nice house.
people
in
go on
Munster.
high alert.
It could be in Hammond next.
I
It could be
agree.
my freaking house.
That's
it could
right.
be anybody's house. Like, you're not doing anybody a service the Times by taking care of your hometown.
Yeah, I mean,
and we
put
got
it-
two stories right here. We got the slurs story, and we got the strong arm robbery. You're not doing anybody a service, and I'm a subscriber to the Times.
Me too.
You're not doing me a service when I have to watch Chicago news to find out what's going on in my own freaking backyard.
Get people on high alert.
It's bullshit.
All right.
It's
They
bullshit.
didn't catch those that arm.
No.
How do we know, dude? We haven't read shit. I have to watch the freaking Chicago news to find out what's going on because the freaking local newspaper won't cover it. Do you
Wow.
think they're doing it on purpose, or is it just coincidental?
I don't know. You know, I mean,
I think
like,
it's
for
on
example,
purpose.
like I don't.
I do think it's on purpose.
Well, it's weird, right? Because I know that like when the Hammond PD, you know, they have public information out. They put a blurb out. It goes in. I mean, Munster. Like what on a case like that, in a very
Well,
in a-
Munster's
what,
not
what I
gonna
would consider
advertise that, Kevin.
no. What I'm saying is in a safe, what is considered a very safe community, Munster,
sure,
right?
for sure. Beautiful
affluent community,
Beautiful,
And
great
it's
community.
changing.
when the Munster when the
It's
Munster
changing.
PD puts out this press release, I'm surprised there wasn't not number one more than a blurb, and then number two, how about a follow up article? Like, you know, keep it in the
But,
news,
Kevin,
keep it moving.
If
so
there's a
people are-
murder in Hammond or a strong arm robbery, I'm not going to have Steve Kellogg put a press
I
release
get
out.
that.
Hey, we had a freaking horrifying crime in our city, and would you please cover it, press?
but
Like,
when
I'm
you're
not
asking
doing
for
that.
the public's help, you do, and that's
I
what
don't know,
Munster
man.
did.
That's where I get involved as mayor. There's some things that like it's horrifying for your city, and it hurts more than it helps.
Yeah, I don't know,
But that's not the media's job. We're talking about my job as mayor. Dustin's job as town manager.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make decisions like that, right? The local media, you're just supposed to cover it. You're not supposed to make these decisions. I think the Times is like, that's a bad story. It makes Munster look bad. We live in Munster.
wow.
That's what I think. And by the way, so this last story we just covered, Kevin, about the slur at the council meeting, there was completely unequal coverage. Highland gets slammed. Munster gets nothing.
That's weird.
If that happened in Hammond, I know we'd get slammed. So I'm pissed about it. It's like, just be fair. That's all I want. The media should treat us fairly. That's all I want.
And I think there's a public component to that where people need to know what's going on in their community.
I'm getting fired up.
All right. Is it ready for? Are we done? Is it ready for? Are there more
Are we
ads to do?
done?
No, you got that last story we got to do, bro.
Oh, the gift that keeps on giving.
Are you gonna do it?
George Santos, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. John.
It's a good walkout
One more story.
One more. Well, right until he gets expelled, or maybe he doesn't.
This is the final George Santos story of LOCPod.
All right, this is it. I don't know though. I have a feeling it's not.
We only have one more. We only have one more story left in this season.
One more episode, but it could be. He could come back in season 11.
Okay,
you never know.
All right, so
he's a recurring character. Is what you're saying?
He is. I think he is.
I hate to say.
Oh, we had Destiny on when you were gone. By the way, she did really good. So sorry.
Oh yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah,
yes, it was.
She was awesome.
What were you gonna say, John?
You said you hate to say it, but
yeah, I was reading this in the show notes, and I thought this is like. I do hate to say this, but he has so many issues that it wouldn't surprise me if we woke up one day to George Santos. Yeah. Or he just took off, right?
Nah.
He fled
to Brazil.
He's a narcissist.
Whereas
I was thinking about that too. Maybe
narcissists don't kill themselves.
Yeah.
He's
anyway,
really going down hard. Yeah. So
I mean, I think a normal person in his position would do it, though, John.
I can't wait for the TV movie about this.
Oh,
it's going to be. I want to know who's going to play him.
Who would be a good?
You're like,
George
hey,
Santos?
I got the part of George Santos.
Who's that in chat? Tell us who would be a great George Santos.
Yeah.
So he now was on a podcast over the weekend, and he said he expects to be expelled from the house.
Wait. He was on a podcast?
Yes!
I know, dude. I was pissed when I heard this, too.
It's
George?
called X Spaces.
It was a conservative one, though.
Oh.
Yeah, Monica Matthews on air, X Spaces. So he's on, and he says, I know I'm going to get expelled when this expulsion resolution goes to the floor. I've done the math over and over, and it doesn't look really good.
I've done the math.
And you got to give 2/3,
It's like
by the way.
high math. This is like third grader math, George. Don't be so proud of that.
Add
I've
it
done
up.
the math. You're like, whoa, you must be smart.
So, I mean,
I've done the math. It's complicated, but it doesn't look good.
and he kind of went off on everybody. He called other members of Congress felons who are in bed with lobbyists in a Friday interview about the recent
untrue.
House Ethics Committee report.
In bed with lobbyists.
Yeah, he said, it's flawed. It was designed to smear me. This is the report. It was designed to force me out of my seat. That's what the intention of this report was. This report wasn't a finding of facts. And then he kind of went on. This one he went off, and he was just, he gets in these rants, and this is what he was doing. Within the ranks of the United States Congress, there's a sudden George Santos is the Mary Magdalene of the United States Congress. I don't want to work with a bunch of hypocrites.
What?
That was an interesting response.
He compared himself to Mary Magdalene?
Yeah, which is strange. I mean, it's gross. I have colleagues who are more worried about getting drunk every night with the next lobbyist they're going to screw and pretend like none of us know what's going on and sell off the American people. So he was. He also called Representative Michael Guest, a Mississippi Republican and chair of the Ethics Committee, the P word, and urging him to take steps necessary to get the motion moving forward.
Patriot?
Be a man and stop being a
Patriot?
You fill in the P word.
Oh,
It's
like
up
the
to you.
grab
my
him by
P word.
the...
Yes, grab him by the P.
Yeah.
Patriot.
Urging him to take steps necessary to
Grab
get the
him by the
motion moving
Patriot.
forward. Grab him by the
Can we not say the P word anymore?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
also out?
Just
I
say
don't
the P
know.
word.
Do we
Everybody
really?
knows.
Go ahead, Tom.
I mean, you're quoting him.
Well,
Right.
And the quote I had was P with a bunch of asterisks.
I don't like that word,
so-
honestly. I don't like that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
Do we see
Right,
any
Joe?
of us hopping on
It's
and
very,
saying it?
it's very offensive, right, Joe?
Gross.
I like
Yeah.
the C
Gross.
word more.
John likes the-
The C word's
acceptable in
good.
Dude,
Because
when I
in
go to
England, yeah.
When I go to England, I drop the C word left and
Oh,
right.
it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I come back to America, and you got that,
And you're like,
that
it slips
awkward
out,
period.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh, did I say that?
I was just in the European Union. I didn't mean it like that. Is that cool?
Shayna said Seth Rogen for George Santos. That is
Ooh.
so good.
Oh, that is perfect.
Can you imagine Seth Rogen saying, "I'm Jewish"?
Yeah.
I like it, Shauna. Very nice.
Yeah.
All
All right. Another successful broadcast.
Thank you.
Season 10, episode 23. It's officially over. Thank you for
One
covering,
more
Joe.
episode.
By the way, good luck to Lindsay doing her finals today.
Yes. Thanks for
Ooh,
covering
get
on
it,
that
Linz.
last minute.
Nursing finals. So
I
thanks
love
for
waking
covering,
up to
Joe.
a text from you, Kevin.
I know. It's like Lindsay knew yesterday
doesn't?
she had finals. She texted us at like 3 a.m. It's like, I decided now.
Yep.
But thanks
won't
for
go
covering,
there.
Joe. It's good to see you. Are you jet lagged or are you like totally
No, I'm
acclimated?
fine.
How do you say like adios? How do you say adios in Portuguese?
Adios
Don't
in
know.
Portuguese.
All right.
What is that flight? 8 hours?
We
Yeah,
had a 45-minute layover and then like roughly 8.
Where'd you
All
lay
right.
over? England?
Madrid.
Madrid?
Oh, wow. That seems like going backwards.
Madrid on the
Yeah.
way back. Heathrow on the way there.
All right.
Wow. I've never been to Spain. I want to go so bad.
And maybe Portugal.
Yeah.
You've been there.
I've been there.
LOCPod season 11 from Spain.
From Madrid.
Gotcha.
The
Barcelona.
whole season.
That's cool.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
LOCPod finally does something for us. Hey, we only got one episode left of season 10, so next episode's our last, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in July. In July.
Yeah, John, we got all year off, all the way to July.
We'll be back in January.
All 6 months.
I'm excited because I get to go skiing finally.
Nice.
I'm jonesing to get the hell out of here.
That'll be fun. Don't forget Mayor Joe Hogshead on Friday.
Oh, Mayor Joe Hogshead on Friday. It's our last show. We're going to make it a good one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to work really hard for you. But until then, I want to say thanks, Jill, for covering again. It's great to see you. Welcome back home.
Yay.
Jay Vaz, awesome job this season. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. Kevin Chandler, thanks for lending us the use of Smith Sarsic Studio. Tell your partner we appreciate it.
I will.
And you owe us $10,000. For back. It's for the. It's just $1,000 a season.
We're season 10.
It's like $1,000.
Kevin can't wait for the expulsion.
Yes,
right.
The expulsion from Smith Sarsic Studios.
And happy holidays, everybody! Thanks for listening to LOCPod, coming live from Munster, Indiana. It's your. It's the locomotive. Thanks for listening to LOCPod. We are out. We will be back on Friday for season 10, episode 24, the last one. Take it, everybody. LOCPod's out.